has started. Same ban so far. Gamtee going to take away Thresh, and Aurelia going to be removed by World Elite. World Elite now going to be on our red side, having a little bit more of an opportunity to pick away those very strong picks.
Also the counter pick potentially onto Xiaohu if they don't take it early. So this gives Ninja the tools to be able to deal with that important mid laner. And this time they are getting rid of both the supports. Synctream not happy not on an engager, so just gets rid of both of them. And you have to think this is something that they've done against a lot of teams, meaning that they're comfortable playing against what teams want to play. This is their style, and I like the fact that Gamtee really concentrating on themselves and what makes them successful as opposed to what makes other teams successful.
And you may have seen me grinning there just for a moment, but that's going to be a Leona ban as well coming out here on the side of World Elite, respecting Synctream and also really intelligently predicting what Gamtee want to do now with their team comp options now that they've taken away that Janna as well. So none of that disengage flavor coming through, and Annie has to be the consideration now for Synctream, you have to think.
Yeah, it certainly does, but I don't think he has to take it that early in the pick. I think that they can still lock in Jarvan here. Danger had a fantastic game on it, take it away from Spirit. I think also Rumble is a contested pick. Aluka's been playing that one, and Letme played it extremely well. And wow, it will be Kassadin that actually gets picked up.
Yeah, it does get locked away. Of course, Letme having one of his best games of the LPL on that champion, and of course doesn't want to give that over to World Elite. Spirit now cycling through a few of his options, a few of his previous champions, and sticking on the ribbon, if only.
Yeah, so I would be interested if he does value both those champions over the J4, which is still up. Also goes well with, I guess, the Rumble in the top lane. And STYZ also looking at Corki, maybe taking that one away from Tail, who had a fantastic couple of team fights, specifically around the Dragon and Baron areas, and that looks like what they're going for.
Yeah, and make Tail uncomfortable as well as the aim of this game. Make sure that they get rid of his very comfortable Corki and put him on something that he may not necessarily be as happy with.
Yeah, because if we take a look at what Tail's been playing, it generally is around that Corki, I feel, and it is. 4 of his last 5 games have been on that Corki, so he will be looking to, I guess, get on something a little bit new. And the response out of here isn't the J4. It looks like it might be the Vi.
Yeah, Vi looking to come in here in response to Spirit's Rek'Sai. And Tail looking at potentially picking up that Sivir as well.
This is a really fun comp coming out of Gamtee already. They have a lot of dive, a lot of ways to get on the back line. The thing about giving a Vi a Sivir ultimate is she doesn't have to Vault Breaker in, meaning she has so much more damage once she is into the fight. And it looks like the response out of WE might be the fact that they go for some disengage, but with Janna off the board, with Thresh off the board, there's not really that many options.
Yeah, Nami is probably going to be the only option that UJ has if he wants to go for that disengage style, or denial of the Annie is the other option here. As STYZ looking to put something through. Aluka looking at his Gnar here, and I was thinking that Gamtee's lineup, if a Gnar was in that comp, that would just be terrifying, but intelligently going to be picked away here by World Elite.
And very good layered CC. You have the knock-up that can come through from Rek'Sai. Gnar will be able to throw everyone into a wall. You couple that with UJ being able to get the Soul Shackles out. There is very good layered CC that can come through, but a very execution-focused heavy team comp. And throw some long-range poke into what is an extremely aggressive dive comp out of Gamtee, and they might have the ability to pick you off no matter where you are on the map.
And Synctream looking at his Annie here as well. And Xiaohu, he has the opportunity to go for that Azir if he wants to, but gonna pick up potentially the Xerath instead in order to have as much control of that lane as he can. Of course, Azir doesn't fare as well against this Xerath, who is able to poke him out from range.
Yeah, certainly doesn't want to give himself over to the counter pick with Azir, so goes with the longer range Xerath. I like it. The slows that come through from Letme, the CC from Danger and Synctream will mean that he has the opportunity to be able to ult from very far away and get himself involved. Also, some good wave clear now comes out of the team comp. It's very important to be able to deal with the pressure that comes through. And Ahri seems to be the response to Xerath at the moment in the LPL.
Yeah, people seem to want to pick her up, use that Spirit Rush, close the distance on him, and then you can land those charms on the relatively low mobility Xerath. It's a good decision. We'll see whether Ninja going to put it to good use as they do lock it away.
I also like Ahri on teams that pile in, and you have to say with Danger, Let Me, and Syncdream, they're probably going to be piling in on a target, and the amount of AoE damage that comes across from Ahri at this point in time, the Q just does ridiculous damage. You throw the Foxfire in there as well, and it just is so potent from Ahri to be able to do that. So I think that as far as AoE compositions go, she definitely fits. She has the layered CC that we've already talked about, and out of World Elite now, a much better mid-game composition that team fights extremely well.
Yeah, and Aluka on arguably one of his most comfortable top laners here as well in Nah.
Yeah, certainly. Coming across there on Nah, he does seem to prefer the tanky ones like the Maokai, like the Nah. So look for him to be right at home there. But Cassidy, we've seen Let Me go off on this champion. It's something that I think they would have wanted to ban out. But at the end of the day, you have to let one of the weapons through.
Yep.
They was probably between the Lissandra and the Cassidy, and they let the Lissandra be the ban.
Yeah, and of course, Lissandra equally as disruptive as well. It's sort of a lose-lose situation letting through one of those guys, but we'll see whether he can have a repeat performance on that Cassidy, because he's looked fantastic in the past.
Yeah, it certainly has had a couple of good games. It will be interesting to see whether World Elite want to lane swap as well, try and punish the Cassidy, or whether they're happy to let Aluka try and do it in the 1v1. Of course, Nah has a very good early game versus Cassidy, but the 2v1 could be brutal.
Yep, so let's see what happens as we hop onto the game. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, with Gamtee taking on World Elite for Game 2. Gamtee looking to make it a clean sweep for the weekend, as World Elite looking to fight back and find some form here in the middle stages of the LPL.
And straight away, Syncdream, you need to be careful, because there is a large number of World Elite players congregating in your general vicinity.
And this little Annie, oh my goodness, it would almost be a crime. Such a tiny model. Is that smaller than normal? That is adorable. Okay, Xiaohu.
And now they're behind Tail, actually. Tail, oh,
a bit bigger now. Oh, wait, hang on. It's been zoomed in. Don't worry about it.
Tail, meanwhile, is dying in the bottom lane.
He's been ignited here. Doesn't even have to pop the potion, though. Does pop both summoners, however.
Yeah, so what happened there was Yujie was able to scout around the backside, land the bind in the tri-brush, and then the rest of the team piled on through. So summon a spell for 2 summoner spells in favor of World Elite there, and means that we'll probably have standard lanes.
Yeah, although
I spoke too soon. Now Cassidy leaving the top lane.
Yep, looking to head towards his jungler. Of course, a lot of vision now being afforded by Gamtee as they made use of that bottom side invade. Aluka shows himself here on the top side as Danger's going to be heading around here as well. Xiaohu going to find just the tip of that orb of deception. And there is a ward now. Aluka is going to spot out this steal that's coming through, so Spirit knows entirely. Is probably going to just do some vertical jungling here as Aluka tries to get a cheeky steal with a boomerang, but look, he may as well, because he's got nothing else to do. He's just going to be zoned out of that lane anyway.
Yeah, exactly right, Neil. It's just maybe trying to hold it up, delay it for as long as possible, put Spirit in a good position, and Spirit already done with 2 camps at this point, looking to get over to the 3rd camp that's already been preemptively started by Yujie. So very nice, smart play coming out of the whole World Elite lineup.
Oh, and actually we've got a roam here from Let Me. There's the flash. 4 members on top of Ninja, who has to blow his flash very early. Syncdream, though, both summoners now on cooldown.
Yeah, double summoner spells. Maybe should have gone more preemptively with the Vi and followed it up with the Annie, because that's a lot of damage that missed in the Vault Breaker. But overall, getting rid of the flash is a good thing. That means Vi may be able to come back and try and pick on Ninja.
Of course, before level 6, Ahri is a little bit more susceptible, but now with the movement speed from the Q, it's a little bit more difficult to land on top of him. Aluka and Spirit now bottom side of this map, and it seems like Gamtee are going to ignore the bottom side almost entirely. I don't think they've been there yet.
No, so they don't want to go there whatsoever. They're happy jungling vertically. They'll pick up the Wolf Camp after this, get themselves to a roughly equal position, maybe even go for a fast push here. Scuttlecrab's worth a lot of gold early game, something worth noting for junglers out there. So picking that up is always a good idea.
Yeah, Danger actually going to get himself 65 gold for that one. Not bad at all, as Let Me is going to continue the follow. And that is fine, of course. Aluka and Let Me both just buddying up and just spamming some emotes here down on the bottom side.
Yeah, so it looks like they were just waiting to see whether someone was following that creep wave in. If there was going to be someone, they would have been able to cut it off and go for a nice dive. Instead, they'll just push the creep wave into the turret, deny as much resources as possible, and continue on their merry way farming.
Yep, and Waves are going to be dying left, right, and center. Of course, World Elite do have an opportunity to go for a Dragon, and they have started it up here. As we see, Spirit able to tank that one up. Does have a relatively large amount of Fury here as well, so they're going to be able to heal himself up as he pops underground on this Rek'Sai. But Let Me in danger. Just don't really worry about it. And giving away this Dragon here early, this is putting World Elite in an advantage first up, and it's just the benefit of having this bottom side control.
Yeah, exactly right. That's just the difference between the bottom and top side. So benefit there is that they deny Kassadin a lot of early farm, and of course we mentioned already how Kassadin does need to be able to pick up that roller to really get into his mid game. The fact that they're, I guess, able to pick up a free objective as well is definitely in their favor, because at the end of the day, Gamtee didn't get anything from that apart from a couple of jungle camps. So really, this early game, much more heavily in the World Elite favor, and I wouldn't be surprised because of the compositions. They're much more mid-game focused this time around.
And Let Me now going to go back, finish off that Ruby Crystal, wants to get to that Catalyst. Of course, his Rod of Age is going to be delayed by quite a bit now, of course, only with a couple of farm under his belt.
And I really disagree sending him into this bottom lane. STYZ has such a deep freeze, and they're going to have to commit 3 resources, but they are just better at fighting at this point with World Elite's lineup. You've got Spirit in there, who's very good 3-6 at brawling. You've, of course, got the who is going to be in mini form, very, very difficult to deal with because of the fact that he's ranged, and shoving this lane out is just going to be an absolute nightmare for the Kassadin. He's just going to be repetitively zoned.
Yeah, standing on a puddle here as well. A little bit unfortunate. Wants to try and get some farm up. Spirit and Aluka are waiting in this top side. Of course, Tail is alone there. He might get it collapsed on. Is Let Me also just trying to farm. Does manage to make it up to a creep there as well, as Spirit doesn't find Tail. Tail does have his summoner spells all the way back up against Syncream. Now trying to get some deep wards in as well, as they're trying to break the freeze. Danger just uses his smite on it. And STYZ going to get queued.
Yeah, that's really intelligent use of the smite there, actually, being able to break the freeze by bringing a lot more AoE to the lane, so being able to push that one out. So that's in favor of Gamtee now. Now the lane's back on equal footing, and they have the control over the bottom side of the jungle. Looking for a repeat visit maybe on Ahri, and just roaming around as a 2-man gank squad. Syncdream is level 3, so he's ahead of where he normally is at this time in the game. But it is nearly 7 minutes through, so he needs to get himself to a lane and maybe start farming up.
Now, if you want to know something impressive as well, Syncdream even in levels, or was, with his top laner.
Yeah, so both Syncdream and Let Me being zoned away from a lot of these camps now. Have to be careful against a level 5 STYZ, because Corki provides a lot of burst damage.
Ooh, Dark Binding not quite going to land.
And a relatively slow early game Atlas. Apart from the fact that a Dragon was taken, teams not really committing overly much to fast pushes. In the top lane, we actually see that Na''s been able to go toe-to-toe with the AD carry. That's a benefit of playing Na. Very good in his mini form at farming with these ranged champions. So maybe a little bit of an advantage out of this overall. But the mid lane is left relatively alone, and that's always going to go in the favor of Xiao.
Wow, there's the flash stun actually going on to STYZ. He gets destroyed as Danger picks up the kill. And we were talking about a slow start. Gamtee turn it right on its head.
Yeah, and I don't know why I'm surprised, because this is Syncdream of all people. As soon as that flash is back up, he wants to get busy on Annie and able to go in there for the first blood. Gets it right back in their favor. It goes over to the jungler. They would have loved for that to go on Let Me, but being able to clear out this wave, push it in, get all the experience across, that's fantastic news.
Yep, Spirit is going to be able to soak this one up as he hops under the turret, but the rest of the members of Gamtee are going to head back, and they probably would have loved that to go on to Let Me to get him back into this game. His teleport is, of course, still available. Now manages to pick up a Sapphire Crystal as well. Would have loved that Catalyst a little bit earlier on. Not going to be happening as of yet. Of course, when that Void Rush comes in, Spirit, of course, he can come to that top lane anytime he wants, as STYZ now just transferring around.
Yeah, and now there they go. They're going in on the blue buff, looking to continue to contest this one. Sync Dream there, however, with the stun up and all the members collapsing through. Even Cassidy has teleport, so if they choose to, they can fight this.
Orbit Deception doesn't quite make it around as Spirit is probably going to secure this blue buff. And nice first camp on the top side of the map.
Yeah, so able to pick that one up. That's fantastic news because that camp at the start of the game belongs solely to Gamtee, and that's going to deny it from Zhao, who looks like is going for that Athene's Unholy Grail this time around, not going for the Morellonomicon.
Well, could be going for either at this stage, but I would like the Athenes, definitely, especially considering the assassination potential coming through from Ninja.
So once again, explosive start in the end for Gamtee. Wait for the flash to come back off cooldown from Sync Dream potentially for any more action to happen. Looks like everyone is just otherwise willing to farm up. Someone forgot to pass the memo to the Annie player.
No.
And Assault and Battery now through for Vi, which is fantastic news. Vi will be able to lock down this Ahri, one of the few junglers that really has control over the gank paths of Ahri. Able to, I guess, lay a CC very well with the mid laner in Xerath and be able to chain those stuns together. And that's the area that he's focusing straight away, although Zhao, who extremely low on mana, will have to back out.
Oh, gonna Rift Walk very, very slightly down and still get caught by the Dark Binding, but he's still gonna be okay. Lots of tunnels on this map here as well. The Spirit going to be able to do some work, but Aluka now zoned out of the way of his turret. Ricochet going to come through and clear out this wave with that boomerang as well. And the top lane outer turret going to be falling very soon, but Dragon available in another 5 seconds. And World Elite well in position to be able to take that one. And of course, no timer was gained for Gamtee. They do have a ward on it now. They are going to see that it's falling, but they seem more than happy to trade it here for the outer turret in the top lane.
Yeah, and that's 2 free 11-minute Dragons going to go down for World Elite. That's an extremely early timer to be able to get through, and that was extremely close as well. That's going to be a very early timer coming through for the 5th Dragon, so they're on pace to really push this game. The 5th Dragon really is something that teams have to pay attention to in the mid game, meaning the 3rd and 4th Dragon are going to be all important for Gamtee to pressure.
Speaking of pressure, Tail continuing his work here on the top side of the map.
Has Spirit done it again? Has he just gone into dark? No. Recognizes the error of his ways, doesn't commit to it this time.
Not this time. 4 members strong now on this top side of the map. There are a few creeps here as well. Preyseeker is going to help clear out this wave. Orbit Deception is going to complete the job, and World Elite defend the inner turret in the top side, but old advantage still in favor of Gamtee. Dragon now 2 dragons to none for World Elite.
Yeah, and maybe if it was just 1 dragon, we would say that they've had control of the game, but 2 dragons at 11 minutes really is a big deal coming out, and they might even be able to pick up this bottom turret because that's getting ridiculously low. In the mid lane as well, Ninja has done a fantastic job at being able to farm out against the Xerath as Ahri, so he's reaching the assassination point, and Zhao, who actually committed towards the Morellonomicon, so valuing the earlier buy, I guess, over the defensive stats.
Yeah, not going to have that extra MR here as well. So, I mean, I guess it's good, of course, when you use your ultimate not to allow people to use those potions as effectively with the passive from Morellonomicon. That's another thing, but very interesting. He does have a very low amount of MR at this stage. Yeah,
he certainly does. And now they pressure in on the mid lane turret. That will fall surprisingly quickly. Sync Dream flanking around, looking to see if he can make anything happen. Teleport actually coming through.
Yeah, there's Spirit Rush as well, but the charm not going to land as a beautiful stun comes down from Zhao, and they disengage effectively. But no, Danger gets caught out, and Ninja picks up that kill. Spirit now tunneling forward. Sync Dream gets caught by the Preyseeker. Oh, man, Zhao is strong on this champion. Sync Dream dodges out of the way of the charm. There's Tibbers just for some disengage. Dark Binding not going to find him, and Annie lives another day.
Yeah, so a lot of damage done to mid lane. In response, they trade it for a kill. Really nice force out of World Elite there. Not going to be able to push in on Zhao, but 2 fantastic stuns coming out of the Xerath player, really helping the disengage. If one of them had a miss, it would have been much worse.
Yeah, that was almost stopping 2 of the kills potentially coming through from World Elite there, as STYZ going to be able to take down this outer turret in the bottom side of the map. Yuge hanging around here as well, wants to pick up some experience if he can. Does have that Soul Shackles available now, and Gamtee playing with fire just a little bit this game. Danger. Charging that Vault Breaker just to secure this turret, and also to remove a tumble.
Yeah, so in the end, able to get that one. Second turret of the game going over to Gamtee. World Elite just content at farming these out. Nearly Hex Drinker done on Nah, so once that comes through, he will be able to stand toe-to-toe a little bit more, I guess, easier with the Cassidy in the top lane. Farming up relatively even at this stage. Cassidy, of course, is behind on that roll build. Would have loved to have it already. Is about 600 gold at the moment, so he'll have that relatively soon, about 16 minutes through the game, you would expect. Unless he's willing to back off now and go buy it. He does need to shove the wave out a little bit, though, to make sure there is no turret pressure on the top side of the map.
Yeah, and Aluka is going to have a fair bit of that tower damage if he does get up there and have some free time. World Elite now trying to counter push in this mid. Few members of Gamtee are available here as Sync Dream running forward. Almost hits a whole bunch of skill shots here. One of them finally lands from STYZ. Make that two. Gamtee now trying to clear out this mini wave. Oh, lovely spell shield to come down from Tail to stop that charm from doing too much work.
And you have to think this is right in Gamtee's favor at the moment. Leaving Let Me in the top lane and trying to siege into a Xerath Sivir probably isn't the smartest idea out of World Elite, because that Cassidy going to continue to scale, having no trouble in the 2v2, and there's just no way you can possibly push mid into that. A lot of damage was gained in the end, but probably for naught, because Yahoo still is here. He's picked up his blue buff now and going to be able to clear out those minion waves effortlessly. So look for them to try and roam around, create holes in vision. Look at how much control they have with the tunnels under the dragon part of the map. If they can pick up the third dragon in a minute 30, these are the kind of plays they need to be looking for. Not the siege, more of the pick style that comes out of Ari and Corki.
Yeah, and really make sure that you stifle your enemy out of any of these objectives as well. And you have to think that when Baron comes onto the board here as well, World Elite probably going to look to try and control that one a whole lot more. But you're right, siege situation not going to be that strong.
Yeah, and they need one of the things that's very undervalued in pick comp is the need for levels. So solo experience becomes extremely important for Ninja. So unless he's being ganked and they're sending members there to keep him safe in the mid lane, getting him to the level 11 before the next dragon fight, things like that are what the priority are, as they've made a catch in the bottom lane.
Yeah, Danger is in so much trouble, and in fact, he's just dead as Spirit yells at him. Causes a kill. Beautifully played here by World Elite.
Yeah, and we were just mentioning the pick potential that comes out. Corki does so much mid-game damage with that Trinity Force, able to get in there, really mix it up, and that's the pressure that these Blackness and Vision gets. It means that you have to start base checking areas to get the dragon under control. And now in the top lane, they don't even have to do the dragon, because Aluka's up there by himself. He's got the teleport ready, and he's pushing in this wave. So they can just dance around, bait the dragon out for as long as possible, and take another objective.
Yep, 4 seconds until that one's up. Of course, Gamtee now this time are positioned around it. Spirit taking a Force Pulse to the face here as he prays Seekers behind him. Spirit, is he going to start it up? Are we going to have this dragon actually begun here? Because members of Gamtee are around. Spirit's taken about half of his health bar in damage. Let Me has that Rod of Ages completed here as well. If he has to teleport up to that top wave, if they do want to take that one down, that's going to be important. Teleport is available. Aluka's coming in here as well. He has a lot of rage. Spirit takes a lot of damage. Nice heal to come through as there's the Soul Shackles from UJ. SCYZ, beautiful positioning out the backside. Aluka getting torn apart. Zhao, who throws out some ultimates, but it's a 2 for nothing for World Elite. And Tail gets caught as well. The heal comes down. UJ somehow survives. The double kill to come through. 3 dead for 1 here, as now SCYZ trying to turn it on as Zhao falls down. Let Me from the backside. He has managed to coax them off the dragon here. As the last member up, of course, it is a 3 for 2. But dragon's going to fall down.
Yeah, so in the end, a 4 for 2 actually in favor of World Elite and able to pick up the dragon. So that's their 3rd of the game. Complete stranglehold over that objective. They're on track for a 30-minute 5th dragon, which is huge. And Casson, picking up an exit kill, actually. Spirit needs to be careful that he doesn't overextend here.
Yeah, actually, Force Pulse going to be used.
Now it's in his favor.
Yeah, that is dangerous. He's going to wait around in this brush, but of course, as long as Spirit doesn't use too many abilities, not going to be too much of a problem. Is he going for the execute? Interesting. Well, he didn't have many other options there. Probably could have teleported if he wanted to, but...
Yeah, just valuing the cooldown on that one. Didn't want to give it up. 2-1-2 in the end. And let's take another look at what happened. So Let Me gets in there nice and, I guess, aggressive at the start of it. Spirit goes is extremely low, but Danger overreaches, and there's a whiff of the Tibbers coming through. Aluka at this point gets a very fortuitous evolve. And at there, Gamtee should have just run. They had no tools to continue this fight. Let Me goes back in. UJ survives on no health, and Xiaohu with a nice flash is able to extend his life, but STYZ able to chase him out. And from here, it really was a 4-for-2 for nothing really gained. They could have backed away when it was maybe a 2-for-2 trade and kind of been happy with the result.
Yeah, Danger not having the performance he had last game here on this VIA this time. 1-3-0. Behind on farm here as well, and Spirit doing fantastically so far. Control of that dragon. 1-0-4 at this stage. Able to get his team ahead. And STYZ, his positioning in that last fight was immaculate. Yeah,
STYZ played the fight very nicely. He's actually a little bit behind in CS, but with that Trinity Force, BF is in a very strong position right now and looking to maybe fight Tail, although Tail doing some nice, I guess, little bit of baiting there, trying to get STYZ to overcommit.
Yeah, Black Shield was in the pocket, but of course, Danger and Syncdream waiting in the wings. And Tail, he just wants to take down this turret. Aluka, with the same idea on the top side, is about to get that transform as Riftwalk is going to be used by Let Me to get him out of trouble. And Ninja, haven't really seen too much from the roaming Ahri this game. He's going to be stealing away this blue buff, but he might be able to be affecting the map a little bit more. 3-0-2 now. He's massive on this Ahri. See whether he can affect other lanes and get everyone else ahead as well.
Yeah, he certainly is playing well, and he's got an extremely aggressive build, being able to die in there. Wants to survive the double AP coming through. Also, with the amount of, I guess, how close Ahri needs to be, it will help out Corky's poke.
Yep.
Because of that Abyssal Scepter, so I like the pick up there, but has been caught out in the mid lane. Has to burn his ultimate, actually, because Syncdream was flying in with those Moby boots.
Oh, yeah. Mobility, Annie. Fantastic pick up. Xiaohu actually going to secure the Raptor. A little bit of help, but I think that might have been Xiaohu getting aggressed on, of course. Low on health at this stage. Volt Breaker from across the wall. Oh, they're looking for Ninja. Nice Black Shield going to stop that Assault and Battery from doing anything. There's the wave clear going to come down here from Xiaohu as well. Chronopol's going to do a bit of work onto Spirit, but that tower is getting dangerously low at this stage. Few stacks now completed on this Rod of Ages for Let Me, but it's only about halfway done. He's being out-farmed as well. Hasn't even been back or bought anything else since that last fight.
He's on about 2,200 gold there, and it looks like the mid turret finally will fall down. Xiaohu just doesn't have the mana to be able to defend it anymore, and fighting here once the Assault and Battery and Tibbers are on cooldown just isn't a good idea. So really nicely played there by World Elite. Good heads-up play from UJ to be able to get that Black Shield down in time. Let Me will go back to base, probably pick up his boots too, and maybe a needlessly large rod item.
Yeah, and look at the response here to Syncdream from STYZ. Has picked up the Mercury's Treads just to make sure that that stun from the Tibbers, from anything that Annie's going to be throwing out, is not going to be doing nearly as much work locking down this Corki.
And this is something that's undervalued on caster ADs. I'm talking about your Blue Ezreal builds, your Corki builds that are looking for the Bloodthirster as opposed to the Blade of the Ruined King. So not your auto-attack based ones, the ones that are looking to maneuver themselves around the fight and use their abilities for a majority of their damage. Being able to stay alive and get another rotation out of your abilities is so much more important than the little bit of offensive stats the Zerkers Greaves or the Sork Boots get. So I really do like the fact that STYZ has prioritized that because of how aggressive this Annie is playing, recognizing he's one of the key threats and that he needs to be able to survive that initial stun.
They are going to be able to clear out some wards here as well. And Gamtee, they do not want to give up yet another dragon here. As World Elite, they are putting so much priority on it. The teleport is available here from Aluka. He's about to transform. Probably going to be the next time around that they are going to go for that one. So 45 seconds until the dragon's up. And we have to keep an eye on where Aluka is, what his Rage Bar is doing as well, because Mega Gnar in these team fights could be terrifying for Gamtee.
Yeah, they definitely do want to be able to utilize the Mega Gnar. He has got a lot of magic resistance, some health for himself, as well as those Ninja Tab Eyes to help him survive the auto attacks that will come through from Sivir. And Danger is the one for me that needs to be careful. He's playing this game in an extremely squishy build and has been caught out yet again.
Yeah, the boomerang to come through. There's the teleport from Aluka. Vault Breaker gets Danger out of there. As Spirit is going to go over the wall here as well. Let Me might be caught out as Tail looks for Spirit one more time. Sync Dream's being caught though. And something had to fall through the cracks. Let Me fell down on the other side of things. Is this going to mean another dragon for World Elite? And they are playing this objective control game so beautifully.
Yeah, they're up to dragon number 4 at 24 minutes into the game. 30 minutes, they'll be ready to contest the 5th dragon. And that is horrible news out of Gamtee. There's 4,000 gold behind, but 4 dragons more importantly. They've lost all control of the map.
They have Tail going to pick up a gigantic wave here on the top side. And Aluka, you have to think, I mean, that teleport was fantastic because it started off a skirmish before the dragon that World Elite were in better position for.
Yeah, Danger just overcommitted to a pink ward. It was as simple as that. He had no business being over that side of the map. He's gone for, I guess, the Sightstone, which is a great pickup. It doesn't give him any real combat stats at this point in the game. And he's a full Banshee's Veil behind.
That is not good news at all on the side of Gamtee. He didn't actually die in that last fight, but you have to think that he may have started off a very bad situation here. Yeah,
but that's the thing. You can not die, and that's fantastic. That's all well and good. You don't give away any free gold. But if you walk out of a fight at 200 health, your team is automatically a man down. Won't be any of that CC coming through, any of the catch potential. And we're seeing again, Spirit is just not afraid of Danger at all in this matchup. Continually walking into his jungle, looking to pressure buffs, and even using that ultimate extremely aggressively. They're going to steal away this blue.
Yep, that blue belongs to World Elite now as Danger won't be able to do anything. He's just going to head to the bottom side of the map, try and take some Raptors, try and get himself back into this game. Let Me continuing to scale. Almost has that Zhonya's Hourglass completed. Not quite yet. Rabbiden's Death Cap going to be the next option here from Xiaohu, and he is going to have that 3-item spike on your mid laners that you really do look out for with that Void Staff, Rabbiden's, and Morellonomicon. But 5-0-2 now for Ninja on this Ahri. He is having a field day and looking fantastic.
Yeah, and maybe this is what we'll see that kind of kills the popularity of Xerath in LPL, because we have seen that a lot of people on the current patch like to take Ahri into the matchup, and Ahri is extremely strong. And once again, fantastic movements out of the World Elite lineup, picking up a free objective with just control over the top side of the jungle, able to rotate into a top turret, looking to maybe even get a pick with the Ahri. They've just played this from start to finish so well. Completely different side than what we saw last time, and it's about not picking these scaling compositions. We've seen scaling compositions get punished so hard, and they went with something a little bit different. It didn't work out, playing much more standard this time around, and it's really working for them.
And this is something we mentioned earlier on here as well, as Spirit is just outclassing Danger across the map this game. And we were talking about the fact that he's got this huge lineage with playing for Samsung Blue. Spirit is a world-renowned jungler, and he's showing it right now. It's taken him a while, but finally we're seeing the Spirit with all of the jungle control that he's capable of.
Yeah, definitely. And last season, a lot of focus was on Dandy. He was on the best team in the world, and Dandy is a terrific jungler. I don't think you can mention great junglers in the world at the moment without putting Dandy up there, nearly in a class of his own, because he does everything so well. But Spirit was also a terrific jungler in his own right, and he is much more aggressive, being able to get in there and make action happen. And speaking of action, Ninja might be looking for a pick.
He's looking for something here. Scuttle Crab protecting Dangerous, not protecting Singdream.
Yeah, so that was one rotation of spells and a part of his ultimate to 100 to 0, and we saw this a lot out of Assassins actually a couple of seasons ago, where they would actually just pick on supports because it really gets you going unless he has...
Whoa. Actually going to use the Locket of the Iron Solari here as well. That is the first buy from UJ. Falling down very, very low. Spirit going into some more split pushing. Of course, loves to do that. Aluka putting a lot of pressure on this bottom side of the map. STYZ always seems to be there to auto-attack these turrets as there's a huge wave. Xiaohu going to try and clear that one out. Aluka getting slowed down just a little bit. They don't take the turret, but the rest of World Elite are here. Spirit's trying to come in. Of course, his tunnel's a little bit far away here. World Elite are going to back off. They're going to take some Krugs. beyond their merry.
But 2 minutes until Dragon. Right on that 30-minute mark is when it will come up, and they're just trying to get some deep ward advantage. They want to be able to steal this one away without a fight and then use the 5th Dragon to their advantage. World Elite are playing this map very well, and I actually don't mind the Spirit split push in this situation. If the teleport was on cooldown, which it was for Aluka, who better to send into a side lane? Split pushes relatively well on the Rek'Sai, is ahead, probably not in very much of a kill potential threat by anyone on the lineup out of Gamtee, so he can use that ultimate to transverse the map extremely quickly, get back into key positions, and you would almost rather Aluka be with the team right now, being able to manage that mana, that rage bar without having to push out a wave, than you would Rek'Sai being with his team.
Yeah, and he can always just go to those tunnels, and he's got so many on the map here as well. Of course, not necessarily as many on the bottom side as he otherwise would like, because they have been cleared out here from Gamtee, which is very, very intelligent. Canopol's going to continue clearing out these waves as well, but Ninja, he's got so many items. That Zhonya's now completed on top of the Abyssal Scepter that he already had with that Athene's, and going for the Void Staff. Almost 5 items for this Ahri, and that is so scary for Gamtee because his one-shot potential is already ridiculous, as Sync Dream would definitely remember.
Yeah, he certainly would, and Sync Dream once again being harassed out of this, already down to no health.
Yeah, then that's just Aluka here doing the damage onto that one. Tail trying to auto-attack back, but that Randuin's doing a lot of work, and Aluka looks like he's taking almost no damage. He does eventually get stunned up here. There's the transform coming in. Takes a fair bit of health, but look at that. He just soaks damage so easily on this Mega Gnar.
Yeah, and whoa.
Oh, there's the flash actually in from Spirit here as well. Tail trying to turn it around, getting some damage down. There's the Assault and Battery onto Aluka of all people. UJ getting taken down immediately, but STYZ picks up Danger in the backside. Spirit very, very low. Ninja trying to get something down, but the bottom lane so low. Xiaohu walks out of the way of the charm, and there's the boomerang. Oh, the stun coming down as well. Let me trying to find Ninja, but he doesn't get it. No members dead apart from Danger and UJ, who died so quickly.
Yeah, and the ultimate coming through from Rek'Sai, meaning that they will probably be able to secure this.
Oh, he's just gone straight in. Xiaohu's going to fall down. Tail as well. STYZ, clean up crew. And thank you, Spirit, for coming in with the home guards. And they are going to be able to take their 5th dragon if they don't get distracted by Let Me, who Aluka is on, and I don't think he has enough mana to Rift Walk. I think Aluka can just tank this one up as Danger is coming around the side. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, so they're able to pick up their 5th dragon of the game. They pick up 4 kills as well as an exit present. So that was a clean ace on the side for only 1 kill, and this is World Elite's game now to lose.
Yeah, 5 dragons. Look at that burning Rek'Sai. It's so damn cool. Does have that red buff now. Oh. Danger. You had the opportunity to smoke that. Didn't decide to.
Didn't want to. You know, let Spirit have this one. As we see the replay coming through, so that was the Rek'Sai ultimate, and just very good use of the Chilling Smite. STYZ recognizing that he's much stronger at this point, going extremely aggressive. Teleport not even needed out of Aluka. Just great cleanup crew. A little bit of an overstay one more time from Gamtee.
And STYZ also going towards that Banshee's Veil now as well, just so that Xiaohu can't stun him. And of course, Danger can't just use that ultimate straight off. And with the Banshee's Veil and the Black Shield as well, it's going to be so hard to lock down any members of World Elite.
Yeah, and it's funny, you see the full evolution of League of Legends in this. So Vi, very popular pickup. Then Morgana became a popular pickup, so Vi wasn't seen anymore. And then Annie was kind of the counter to Morgana because could get through that Black Shield and allow a lot of the damage to come through. So we're seeing the meta really re-evolve itself with these new patches. And once again, Rek'Sai, with all that additional stats coming through, going to be able to split push probably better than anyone on the team at the moment. Back in the bottom lane, looking to pressure the inhibitor while the team grabs control over the Baron area.
Yeah, and of course, tunnels everywhere on this map. And he can just be near that Baron if he wants to. Let Me is forced to come down and stop this split push. Scrying Orb going to spot out exactly what World Elite are doing. Spirit going to tunnel his way around. That one not going to last too long, you have to think.
But can they fight? This is a 5-dragon lineup now with full control over Baron. Even if they get in there with a very good ultimate, they're not in much of a position to fight, so they may as well just start this one up. I don't think Gamtee would face check even if they had vision, and they're actually just going to back away from this. Don't want to risk it.
Actually, Spirit going to head back to that bottom side as well. Of course, Void Rush, as we mentioned, was available. World Elite committed to finding someone as they come and check this Baron, as opposed to just taking it.
Yeah, and the last thing you want to do is really bait this one out, and then like something devastating to happen. Whole team Tibbers, something along those lines that I'm thinking of. And
oh, actually, everything's going to get popped. Oh my gosh! The God Blind Charm lands onto Syncdream. Tail gets caught by the Dark Binding here as well. World Elite find exactly what they want as Danger forced to get the hell out of here. Aluka takes a lot of damage from Xiaohu, but this is the tanky Meganar. He's going to be fine. And my gosh, that charm was so good.
Yeah, and that's what I meant. There was no way that Gamtee could fight that one. As we see, they now start up Baron, get their Rek'Sai back into the pit. They'll be able to pick this one up for free.
Yep, and right at the Arcane, just on the edge. Unable to steal the Baron as they actually stopped their attempt, even though it wasn't quite in range yet.
Yeah, so able to pick that one up. Very nice control of objectives. They've been able to pick up 5 Dragons. Now the first Baron for themselves. Dragon will be up again in about 2.5 minutes, but they don't really care at this point. They've got the split push out of both their top laner and their jungler. They can just go 1-3-1 and control all of the map, and there's not really anything Gamtee can do to stop them.
No, and I thought that the Void Staff might be coming through from Ninja, but no, he's just going to turn that Blasting Wand into a Death Cap straight up. So he's going to be doing a lot of damage on this Ahri. 7-0-3, definitely getting my MVP award for this game so far. It's been looking brilliant, and that last charm was just stunning.
Yeah, just able to get in there. Once again, pick on Syncdream, who's not having a terrific game on Annie. And the whole of the Gamtee lineup, they've had a very good showing this week. They definitely have been proving that they're a team to be reckoned with, but maybe need to iron out some kinks over their objective control, because they really were dictated to in 2 lane swaps today, and yeah, that's not what you want to be able to see.
And Aluka as well, just able to be this mega tank for his team, where Letme hasn't really got going on this Cassid and been forced to build a Haunting Guise here as well, just because he wants as much magic penetration as he can. But Haunting Guise at 36 minutes, it's not going to do too much, as the Locket of the Iron Solari, it's already been picked up.
Yeah, so looking to just eat everything out of his build as possible. You understand why they're going for these items, to try and just stall the game as much as they can. But yeah, you're exactly right. It's to the point now where they're just that far behind and that much in a hole that World Elite can continue to push in, maybe look for a pick around this Dragon. Once again, pick up the 5th Dragon, be extremely strong. They've got 2 huge tanks in the form of Aluka and Spirit. Will be able to dive quite soon, and they chunk out turrets by themselves.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous, and so much split push potential coming through, like you mentioned, with Spirit being everywhere at once, it feels, this game. And STYZ picking up the red buff here. It's been a while since Gamtee. Oh my gosh, and Aluka with the perfect amount of rage, looking for the Gnar. Gets stunned up though, and Danger in the backline, just going to get obliterated. Syncdream was there for a second. No longer here as Annie, very, very squishy, and World Elite, 2 easy picks, and they're going to transition into the inhibitor turret. Aluka, the biggest black shield in the history of black shields. The Wallop's not going to find their mark. Gnar was whiffed as well, but a bit of a zoning Gnar, you have to say, as STYZ going to throw out a rocket and have it spell shielded, but that's what they wanted. They wanted the inhibitor.
Yeah, and perfect timing on objectives, Atlas. They'll be able to back out of the base now, pick up another 5th Dragon for themselves.
The second 5th Dragon.
Exactly right. The second coming of 5th Dragon has let me teleports in to die.
Oh, no, to Zhonya's. No, I thought he was going to be okay. Last-ditch efforts coming through here. Tail does pop that spell shield. Spirit waiting out for it. Does get stunned up here as well. Black shield a little bit late there as the charm going to be flashed out of the way of Syncdream. Just collateral damage, really. He just dies to collateral damage.
Yeah, STYZ, I don't even think wanted to kill Syncdream there, but then he became the closest target, so he had to be taken down. And Aluka, even using the teleport to get up into the top lane to get some farms for himself. Some cheeky play now coming out of World Elite. They'll pick up the Dragon here, and they're in the driver's seat. We'll just look to push out probably bottom lane and take this game.
They can push out wherever they want. They are 16,000 gold in the lead. Gamtee almost completely forced out of this whole matchup, and it's been a strangulation from World Elite. And you have to say, Spirit has looked brilliant on this Rek'Sai. He didn't look bad in the game before, you have to say, but this time, the rest of his team able to be put ahead by this Rek'Sai play. 2-0 and 10 now on that champion. Has a Thornmail as well as the Randuin's, and of course that Banshee's Veil from earlier on. He is a huge Rek'Sai. That's actually 6 items.
Yeah, he's a 6-item Rek'Sai with 207 CS and more gold than his top laner. So he's extremely big at this point in the game. He is, as I said, richer than anyone else on Gamtee's lineup. Has been doing a lot of split pushing, so you understand where it all came from. And Gamtee now looking for maybe a death brush, trying to get something happening around here, looking for someone to pick off. It might be Yuji popping his head in. If it's Spirit, he just won't die, so don't go for him.
Yep, STYZ looking for something possibly. Might be, oh, Aluka, not a target that they want. None of these targets that they want. There's a Timbers onto 3 members, though. Immediately removing UJ. Spirit's going to die as well. Let me dodges a lot of damage with that. Sonya's here as well. Ninja, though, still has so much damage in his arsenal. And look at STYZ tearing through this team. A triple kill for Ninja, just incidentally. And they had to do it. Gamtee had to do something, but World Elite, they're just too far ahead.
Yeah, they managed to pick 2 members, which it actually surprised me that they had enough damage to do that. But in the end, World Elite too good in Game 2, able to take one back, and they did it in pretty emphatic fashion.
Oh yeah, able to really drive that win home, and they had control of that game almost from minute 1 here on the Rift, and Gamtee's hopes of that 4-0 dream have been dashed now by World Elite, but 3-1, not too bad, and World Elite looking a whole lot better today.
Yeah, World Elite looked very good. They had that game under control, as you said, from minute 4, actually taking the first dragon there and really strangled Gamtee off everything, pressuring the Kassadin pick. I really like how they're doing this, and I guess across the board, Gamtee, fantastic weekend. Props to those guys. Do not take anything away. They went 3-4 in the end and really have started to evolve. But in this game, it was all about World Elite.
Oh, it was. And let's have a look at a replay just to see exactly what World Elite did to win this game.
Yeah, so if we jump in here, this is the last death brush that was being set up by Gamtee. So we'll roll this one out. They really don't want to go into Spirit or Aluka, who are the 2 people that present themselves as targets. So they pick Yuji, they pick the support, and they absolutely decimate 2 members. But the problem is, how strong is Ninja in this fight? Dives in and look at all of the Ahri damage coming across. The triple kill picked up, and Yuji runs away to only be picked off by STYZ. And in the end, it was just too far ahead, too many big items completed on these key assassins, and you got rid of 2 people with no response and still lost the 3v5.
Yeah, it's a little bit disappointing, of course. When you're down 16,000 gold, it makes those fights a little bit more difficult, but you have to mention this Ahri versus Xerath situation that's happened, and it's like some sort of weird game of rock, paper, scissors where you've got, oh, Azir, oh, better pick Xerath. Oh, Xerath, better pick Ahri, and maybe Azir does better against Ahri. Hopefully it is going to be this 3-way clash, but ladies and gentlemen, we still have one matchup left to go. It's going to be Invictus Gaming taking on King.